What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel, and today I want to start a brand new series on this channel that's going to take a look at how to read the tarot. That's right, guys, I want to introduce you to the tarot if you've never experienced it before, or if you're just starting out, I want to provide some information to help you get started, or if you're an experienced reader and you just want to fresh up on your knowledge, then this could be the series for you. So I want to make this a multi-part series where I delve into all sorts of facets of the tarot that is going to help a new person learn to read the tarot cards efficiently, correctly, and with the most amount of fun possible, okay? So this first episode, I wanted to focus on the different ways to read tarot. I think this is something that's kind of hidden from most new tarot readers, so I wanted to get this out in the open in the very first episode. In my opinion, there are 3 different ways to read the tarot. You can read the tarot by the book, you can read the tarot intuitively, or you can use a combination of the two. So what I want to do right now is put out a sample reading, a really simple sample reading, and I want to try to read these cards using all 3 methods, and I'll show you how to read all 3 methods and give you an idea of how tarot readers go about their business. So I'm going to use the Llewellyn Classic Tarot here. I'm going to shuffle it a few times, and we're going to use the sample question, what does my friend feel about me? Or how does my friend feel about me? So we're going to start with that, and we're going to do a 3-card reading, very simple, and we're going to look at it in 3 different ways. So let me just shuffle a few more times. Alright. Cut the deck. And we'll deal out 3 cards. Alright, so we have the 6 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. Ooh. So first we're going to go by the book, and what we'll do is read this as if I'm not using any of my intuitive abilities whatsoever, and I want to keep you guys informed here and let you know that anyone can read tarot. Anybody on this earth can read the tarot, and you don't have to be intuitive, you don't have to be psychic, but you're not going to have that added dimension to your readings that psychics can give, but anyone can read it. And they can do that by learning the book meaning. So we'll go by the book meanings here. First, we'll start with the 6 of Pentacles. Now, the 6 of Pentacles, traditionally, the Pentacle suit is about earthly things. It's about tangible things, most often money, but it could also mean food, clothing, shelter, things of this earth that you can touch. And the 6 of Pentacles is about sharing and having an open line of giving and receiving of these earthly things. So, I guess you could say this, my friend, whoever, this is just a hypothetical question, a hypothetical friend, but my friend might feel that in our relationship there is an open giving and receiving. He might feel like he's giving as much as he's receiving, and vice versa. So that's how we're going to look at the 6 of Pentacles in the traditional book sense. The 5 of Pentacles in the traditional book sense is about being left out in the cold, as you can see here. And it's about seeking shelter. It's about, licking your wounds, so to speak. Sometimes this card is about health. And it's about, seeking something. You don't have enough money, or you don't have enough shelter or clothes. It's about not having enough. But it's also about having companionship in this loneliness. So the 5 of Pentacles here, he could state that maybe he feels a little bit like he's alone in the relationship, or she, whoever this is. And I think this person might feel that they're not being, they're searching for something that they're not finding in the relationship, right? So that's what the 5 of Pentacles might represent. And then the King of Pentacles is a court card. And we'll get into what these cards mean more in the future of this series. The court cards are kind of personality types. And the King of Pentacles is a very earthly person. He's a person who knows what he wants and knows how to get it. And he will take his time, but he will get it. And, it's a person who is good at business, who is going to make all the right business moves and good money moves. And so I think the King of Pentacles here is someone who's well established and knows what he wants and is very secure in earthly matters, so in money and stuff like that. So applying this to the question of how does my friend feel about me, we can say that there's an equal give and take. This person might feel a little bit lonely, a little bit left out in the cold as far as this relationship goes. Maybe this card could even signal that there's not an even give and take, and that's where your intuitive ability comes in. But just going by the book, then we could also see that there's a little bit of a, I don't know, this person might see the other person as someone who's very well grounded and situated. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to learn the meanings of each of these cards. Each of these cards have 5 or 6 different book meanings, and depending on the deck they're going to have different meanings, but that's how you read it by the book. So you're just going to have to learn these meanings, memorize these meanings, and you will understand what these cards are saying to you just based on what the book is saying. So that's the first method of reading cards. Anyone can do that. It takes some study, takes some memorization skills, takes some practice. But, you can have your study book in your hand as you read, and anyone can read it in that fashion. The second way we're going to look at this is reading it solely intuitively, not using the book meanings at all. So what you're going to do for that is you're going to look at each card, and you're going to really focus on the picture. Whereas for the book meanings, we focus on the type of card it was, the 6 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles. Here we're going to look more at the picture, and we're going to see what kind of story this picture is telling us. Okay, and a lot of this has to do with the first impression you get when you see the card. So when I look at this card, the first impression I got with this was that there's not an even exchange. I felt very strongly that this person in red was the friend, and he or she feels like that he's giving a lot more time, effort, money, resources. He's putting far more into the relationship than he's getting out of it. And that was just my first impression. That's what stuck out to me when I saw this card, was that my friend is not feeling like there's a proper give and take here in this relationship. So that's intuitively, that's what this card told me. He or she is the one that is not getting equal value from this friendship. My second intuitive read here on this 5 of Pentacles card was that my friend is definitely feeling left out in the cold a little bit, feeling kind of wounded, like he's sustained some wounds and he's kind of hurt by them, and as a result the friendship is kind of on the rocks. And so I get the intuitive idea that this friend is feeling kind of left out in the cold by the person in this reading. And so that's I keep saying my friend. This is I didn't really specify anyone in this reading, but that's that thing I get, is that the person is kind of just feeling slighted. Like there's a rough patch in their friendship right now, and he needs someone to lean on, as viewed here. Intuitively, for this King of Pentacles, I get the sense that this person is kind of domineering, kind of always wants to get his or her way, kind of is very forceful in that, and is someone who's, think of a shrewd businessman, and think of someone who takes that energy of shrewd business person and puts it into a friendship. And that's kind of the sense I got from this card here. Someone who's very tactical and gonna not be underhanded necessarily, but not be very emotionally fulfilling, not using their head too much, but doing the things that have to get done. Very pragmatic is kind of the word I'm going for here. So that's how you would read this intuitively. I would get the sense from reading this spread here that there's big problems in this relationship, and there's an unequal exchange here. One person is putting more into it than they're getting, but they're also being kind of controlling. That's the second way of reading it intuitively. Now, in my opinion, the best way to read a tarot spread, to read the tarot, is to use a combination of both techniques. You got to put it all together. So the way I read tarot is that I'll lay out the cards, and the first thing that'll pop into my mind is something that I'll stash there in my brain. So the first when I look at the card, the first instinct I get is I store that away. I look at the cards as a whole, and then I come back to it, and then I look at the book meaning, and I look at my intuitive hit, and I kind of compare the two and see how they can fit. So for this, I get the sense that my intuitive hit was far stronger than the book meaning for this. I'm getting the definite sense that the friend in this reading is definitely putting more into it. Now, traditionally, this is about giving and receiving, so I kind of meshed the two. I get the sense that this friend is putting a lot of money into the relationship, which is what the Pentacles represent sometimes, and not getting the emotional fulfillment that this person thinks he or she should get in exchange for money. And not to say that this person is giving money to the friendship, but whenever people are spending time together, there's always money gets to go out, you have to have money. And I get the sense that this person is spending more money than he or she feels like he's or she's getting in return, and that's kind of echoed here in this card. Of course, the Five of Pentacles, like I said, the book meaning is about getting left out in the cold, but I get the sense of a kind of a darker, more negative energy from this intuitive hit on this card. So I'm getting the feeling that yes, it's a combination of being left out in the cold and feeling hurt, but also being angry about being hurt and kind of feeling alone about it. So, kind of combining the book meaning with my first instinct of when I read the card, when I first see the card. And then the King of Pentacles, I definitely think that my intuitive reading of this far supersedes the book meaning, because generally in a friendship there's not too much business type energy. Sometimes there are, but I definitely get the sense of a person who's very kingly and wants to do things his or her way, and is not going to be really considering the other friend's thoughts or feelings or wants or desires as much because of a very controlling attitude. And that kind of goes in with the book meaning, sort of, but you kind of have to mesh the two, and it's very important to get an intuitive hit on these cards, an intuitive reading, in order to have a well-rounded reading outcome. So that's my example of how to read the cards. You can read it by the book and gain a lot of insight from these cards. You can just look at these cards as if they're a story, like it's a movie playing out, and you can definitely get an intuitive reading that way. The images are very important, but I think the best way to read the tarot is to combine both of them. Now, you're not going to just be intuitive overnight. This is something you really have to work at. You're also going to have to work at memorizing all the book knowledge. So there's some studying involved. There's also some, development of intuition that's involved in reading the tarot in a well-rounded manner. So this is not something that you learn overnight. This is why people charge money for tarot readings, because it's a lot of work that goes into it. In order to become psychic, you have to put in a lot of hours of just dedicated diet, exercise, meditation. It takes a lot of work to develop your psychic abilities, though everyone has them, which is something that I want to encourage you all to realize and remember, that everyone's got psychic abilities, guys. It's just a matter of learning how to unlock them. Okay, so I hope this helps. If you have any questions, put in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have about reading the tarot in these 3 different methods. I hope you guys will consider buying a deck of your own if you don't have one already, and try to at least learn the book meanings. A lot of tarot decks come with books that you can read, or you could go down to your local library. A lot of libraries have tarot decks, or tarot books, excuse me. Yeah, so there's that. Remember, guys, I have an Etsy store. I got a couple listings up there right now. If you want an intuitive reading by me, then you can go to that Etsy channel and check things out. I've also got a Twitter and an Instagram, which I'll put on the screen and put in the description, so you guys can go check that out. All right, that's going to be the first episode in this Learning Tarot series. I hope you guys did enjoy that. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already. Happy taroting. Peace.